Hello and welcome to this episode of Dharma Does. This week I'll be diving through my research findings for real estate data in Waltham, Massachusetts. The purpose of this research was to determine future predictive prices for single-family homes. What I did was take a look at historical data over the last 3.5 years. Super excited to kind of walk you through my results and share with you the insights that I generated using learning supervised models. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So the main objectives that I was hoping to accomplish that I will illustrate by the end of this presentation are three things. The first objective was to determine with confidence what the future predicted prices could be using historical data set from the last 3.5+ years. The second objective that I hope to accomplish was to determine if it makes sense for me to invest in the short term. So for instance, perhaps over the next couple months, or would it be more realistic and more beneficial return on investment if I invested in the future, let's say perhaps the next 6 months or 12 months. And then lastly, I wanted to determine with confidence if this was something that was scalable and could be reproduced, taking a look at the R-squared score and other credentials and making sure that from a machine learning perspective, this was something that was suitable to be deployed in production. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and walk you through what I was able to find as a result of this research, and let's get started. So as I described, this is me for Waltham. The data set is over the last 44 months. Trying to determine if I should invest now or later, 6 months, 12 months, etc. And the supervised learning model in which I created and programmed was linear regression models. And the first thing you want to do is ensure that we install the required libraries. So go ahead and install pandas, numpy. We're going to install the stat models, and also we're going to do linear regression. We're also going to do mean square error, R-squared score. This will help us determine with the validity how robust my algorithm is, and more importantly, if this is something that I can scale in the future. So here's the real estate data from 2021 through 2024, single family. Let me just take a look at some of the features. So it looks like there's 3 features. There's the date, the price, and then the date original. It's 44 entries, so 44 months worth of data. Let's take a look at the first 4 rows. Our data set starts January 1st, 2021. At that point, housing single family in Waltham was 670K. February it increased to 675K, and then the last month is May 1st, 2021 for the first 4 rows, first 5 rows, 700, close to 700K. Now I'm going to take a look at the tail, take a look at where our data set concludes. It appears that our data set last 5 months, January 1st, or April 1st, 2024, March 1st, 2024, June 1st, 2021, July 1st, 2024, and then the last data point is in August of 2024. Now I'm just going to look at some descriptive statistics. Okay, so we see that the average price over the last 44 months is 748K. This is going to be an important number. Keep that number in mind. The highest is 827K. and that was in August. This lowest is 670K, and that was in January of 2021. This function here is the exact same as the descriptive statistics above, and we'll just run it just for sanity. So the average over the last 44 months, as we can see, 748K. The highest over the last 44 months in Waltham, Massachusetts, single family, 827K. And then the lowest over the last 44 months, 670K. So this is very, very important. I'm going to pause here for a second. As far as meaningful information, it's always helpful to understand trends and how certain factors may impact your decision. So for example, over the last 44 months, it'd be highly unlikely that you'll be able to purchase a home for 670K, given that the average is 748K, right? For instance, if we took a look at the last 6 months, I would presume that the prices over the last 6 months were significantly higher than they were when they first started at 670K. So let me actually scroll up real quick and illustrate what I'm saying. So if we look at the last 5 months, August 1st was 2024 average, or the average monthly single family was 824K, almost 825K. In July of 2024 it was 825K, close to 826K. And then in June it was 827K, right? So every last 5 months, it seems like the average has always been over 800K, and that goes to my point of it'll be highly unlikely that you'll be able to find and purchase a single family home for that first, which was 670K if I remember correctly. Over what, which was the home price in January 1st, 2021. With all that, that's just an interpretation, my interpretation of the data set, how I interpret it and what it's speaking to me. So, moving on. Let's view the last 44 months. Let's take a look at that. Looks good. Looks great. One of the things that'd be super helpful here is just to visualize it. So I went ahead and did that. I'm just going to plot this Waltham. Perfect. So just visually, let's take a look at this. And this is where it's interesting for me. So January 2021, 670K. Over the next 7 months through August, we can see the trend. The prices are increasing, right? So this is increasing. So at August 2021, as we can see, we start seeing a decrease. So it was around 710K, and then it decreased, and then around, I'd say, November, September, October, November, December. So this is December, this is January. We're seeing an increase in January, and that increase was also reflected in December, November. So November, December, seasonality, increase, peak here, and then prices just kept increasing. And then we see a decrease around August 2022. Home prices, single family, at that point, 760K. Now we're seeing a decrease in August. July was 760, then it decreased in August, September, October, November, December. We're just seeing a decrease until January 2023. And then we see an increase, right? We see prices just keep increasing all the way through August 2023, all the way through January 2024, just increasing. And this is Waltham, right? So this is real estate data over the last 3.5 years, demonstrating here. It's a nice visual. So now we'll actually do some more actual machine learning as far as being able to predict. We're going to do a linear regression model as I illustrated earlier, so we're going to get some criteria that inform me of the performance and the robustness of my algorithm as it relates to predicting future prices. So just going to import the necessary libraries. I'm going to do a train test split, get my absolute mean error, my mean squared error. Here are my outputs and results here. We can interpret this later. So let's actually run our linear regression model now. So this is the linear regression line as a result of the machine learning. So if we zoom out, what we're looking at is the actual prices in blue, and then the linear regression fit over that data set. Now the dependent variable that I was working towards is the price, and then number of observations was 44. You can see the two biggest criteria for determining the robustness is the R-squared score and the adjusted R-squared. So at 0.898 and 0.895 respectively, this linear regression model fits extremely well for the data set, and we're able to see, for instance, the constant coefficient here. We know this is statistically significant because our PT score is close to 0 for the constant in addition to the date original. So this is a great model. Super happy with this model, and what we can do is actually see our future equation. So for price, here's our equation down here, and what I did was, using the model, predict future prices out for the next 17 months. So for instance, this would be September, October, November, etc. So as demonstrated, you can see here the future prices based off historical data set, and most importantly, we're able to kind of make some decisions as far as what could be beneficial from a return on investment as it relates to making sure that for single family homes, if we want to make that purchase, it's probably best that we do it sooner rather than later. For instance, given the average and what it is now and what the future predictive prices are expected to be based off a pretty robust model, right? So this is pretty exciting, being able to share this with you, and most importantly, answer some of the questions that I was hoping to answer as a result of using supervised learning machine models. So moving on, the next thing that I'm going to do here is actually plot the predicted prices. For instance, November 1st, 2024, just so I can visualize that information. So just run this here. And what I'll see, what you're able to see is for November 1st, 2024, future predicted price. Again, the blues are the historical actual prices. The red line indicates the actual linear regression line. And then the green is the future predicted price for November 1st, 2024, which will be 829K, almost 830K. I did the same function for a couple more use cases. So for instance, what does it look like in March 2025? So predicted price for March 2025 is 836K. In blue, we have the historical 3.5 plus years, over 44 months worth of historical single family data. And then I fit the trend line so you can see that beautifully. And then additionally, I also have the future predicted price for January 1st, 2025. And again, this is just so that I can help my communities as far as making sure from a decision-making perspective, everyone is informed on what historical prices are, which is important here, in addition to using machine learning AI for better informed decision, and in this case, predicting future home prices to help solve my problem of whether or not I should make a purchase sooner or later. And then the last use case I'm going to demonstrate was for March 2025 visualization. So in blue, the actual prices, historical prices. In red, the linear regression line. And then the future predicted price for March 1st, 2025, single family home in Waltham, Massachusetts is $843,000. Oh, bonus. Additionally, here's one for September 1st, 2025. We can see in blue the actual prices, and then what I did was predict out for September 1st, 2025, so 12 months from now, what that would look like. As you can see, future predicted price is forecasted to be 863K, right? Oh, even more bonus. So here's November 1st, 2025, and similarly, historical actual prices in blue. We have our trend line and our future prediction of $869K, $910. So almost $870,000 to purchase a single family home here in Waltham, Massachusetts in the future. So to summarize, I'm gonna just hit this point home. I think this is arguably the most important things that I want you to take away is, the average price over the last 44 months was $748,000. My recommendation based off the data set and my linear regression algorithms is to buy now. So from a cost savings perspective, how I arrived at these recommendations. If we, remember the future prices based off, the robustness, we're predicting a future price in November of $829,000, almost 830K. And the way you arrive at the cost savings is take that future predicted price, and then we just subtract the average, and that's how we arrive at $81,865 cost savings if we're to buy now as opposed to waiting in the future. So I think from a recommendation perspective, this is very, very important. Knowing that, being able to see and make decisions that could help and result in cost savings that are quite substantial is something that everyone should be aware of, right? So similarly, if we were to do even further out, for instance, January 1st, 2025, in which the future predicted price is going to be $836,000, and then we subtract the current average, we arrive at an 88K cost savings. Similarly, if we did for March 2025, and then we subtract the current average, the cost savings would be 95K. So, you know, just something to be mindful of as far as how I'm using machine learning to help make better informed decisions in addition to solving large sector problems in this specific use case, real estate. I think everyone understands the value of owning a home, and specifically here in Waltham, it seems like based off the historical data set over the last 3.5 years, prices are predicted to continue to increase. So for instance, if we look at cost savings, if you're going to wait a year out till September 1st, 2025, when prices are predicted to be $863,000 for a single family home, cost savings, could be over $115,000. I'm Olu Darmola, and this was another Darmola Does AI Insights exclusive. And if you enjoy this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Until next week, hope you take care and have a good rest of your day.